welcome to my channel. I'm Charlotte. Today I'm going to show you guys my art portfolio that got me into several art schools and universities, and I'll try to be as informative as I can. So I hope this will be helpful for people who are considering going to an art school or just thinking about majoring in visual art. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me introduce myself a little bit. I'm an international student from China, and I first went to a community college to get my AA degree, and then I transferred to Laguna College of Art and Design last year fall. So basically I just finished my first semester at LCAD, and I'm majoring in illustration. Alright, let's get back to the topic. In total, I applied to 9 schools, which are Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton, CCAD, Otis, RISD, LCAD, SCAD, CCA, and ArtCenter. Except RISD, I got into all the others, and I was so happy half of them offered me scholarships, and mostly around 1/3 or half of their tuition. At the end, I chose LCAD since the tuition fee is the cheapest compared to the other schools, and it's close by, so I don't have to move to another state, experiencing the feeling of knowing nobody again. Also, the campus looks really artsy because it's basically located between huge mountains, and I think it'll be an amazing place to study art and create art, as you are so close to nature and you can have yourself fully immersed in the beauty of the space. Also, I did a lot of research on who's teaching. So most professors, they are professional artists working in the field, and I think that's the most important factor for me, because I want to know the people who are teaching me, they know their stuff and they are up to date. Okay, it's showtime. The first piece I put in there is one of my favorites. It's drawn by micron pens, and the concept is creating a harmonious play card by manipulating and designing the composition and space. So the two characters have to be public figures. They can be family members and stuff, and they need to have some sort of connections. So the two I chose is from a famous Chinese TV show called Zhen, and the English name is Empresses in the Palace, I think. You can search it up on YouTube, and I'll leave a link down below too. I highly recommend you guys watching it. It's amazing. So I used posters of the show and some screenshots as my reference photos for this piece. It took me, I would say, about 10 hours or so total to do it. I'm sorry. My phone is it's a reminder. It's telling me to go to bed. It's time to sleep. Well, I'll finish this first. Okay, so it took me where was I? Forgot. Oh, okay. So the woman at the bottom sees the woman on the top as her opponent, and the conflict between the two is originated because of the presence of the emperor, and the dragon is just an implication of the emperor, as he's the main string that connects everyone in the show. So for the back of the card, I just drew a bunch of squiggly lines in Illustrator and rotated, copied and pasted, and just kept this repeating pattern going, and that's what I got there. The second piece I put in there is my self-portrait. One's drawn with graphite, one's painted with gouache. The unique thing about this one is that it's pixelated. So the making process, it's I print out my photo with grids, and then I drew the same grids on paper. So based on what I see in each little square, I know where to put shadows, and I know what color to use for the color one. Also, for smaller details, I just divided the square into another set of 4 squares. I'm seeing a lot of square. I had a lot of fun doing this, especially the color one. Alright, moving on to the next one. This one is an observational drawing of the hallway outside my classroom when I was still at the community college. And I remember it was my first drawing class, and it's a pencil drawing, and yeah, we're just trying to get the perspective right to just measure everything accurately and trying to put the volume in there to show the contrast of the light and the shadow. Yeah, that's all I have to say. As you can see, it's a color wheel. It's also painted with gouache. And the goal here is to create our own unique color wheel by assigning a theme to it. So I was gonna do We Bear Bears, but I feel like that wouldn't have much of color contrast and volume variations. So I ended up doing Foodie's color wheel. And I had a folder of a bunch of reference photos for this piece. And I remember I put an all-nighter on this one too. I don't know if you guys have noticed the green part, not the avocado one, but the one below that. I forgot to paint the shadows. And I know this is maybe a month later, and I'm so glad nobody spotted out during the critique. Yeah. Alright. So this one is from my first typography class, and I got inspired by the old Shanghai posters from the 90s, I think. I was just so fascinated by the color palette they used. It looks so beautiful, so elegant. But there's one problem that somebody pointed out during the critique is that the typeface doesn't really match up with the vintage feeling that I'm trying to convey. So maybe I'll fix that later, but who knows, we'll see. Okay, it's another design piece. So as you can see, it has two parts. The part on the left is all my original design tiles drawn with micron pens, and the part on the right is a pattern that I designed by using the tiles. So what I did here is just rearranging them and having them repeating 4 times in that square to create an interesting pattern. I originally designed 16 tiles, and the last row is added later on because I realized that all the others I designed are mostly complicated. In order to create a pattern that is cohesive, I think I need some simple and bold shapes to balance out the chaos. Also, variety creates contrast, and the contrast creates tension and focal point. So yeah, that's what I learned from this whole process. The next one is an acrylic painting based on a photograph. I traced over the photo to get the proportions and the outlines done before everything goes wrong, and I painted with white by using dry brush technique. The canvas is primed with black gesso, and the white is applied little by little as the brush is so dry. I was basically scrubbing the canvas to have the paint stay on there. Yeah, it took me quite long to finish this painting. One is because I'm always procrastinating to wait till the last minute. 2 is that it's a challenge for me because I have to know where to put down the white and how much amount I'm putting down. So yeah, I worked super slowly to just layer things up to get that opaque or transparent effect. Alright, the next one, it's from the same typography class. It's a really random idea that turned out looking cool. I was stuck at the time because I have no idea of what kind of typeface that I want to design. Since I'm a fan of escape room, so I thought why not design a set of alphabet with the implication of maze, room, and 3-dimensional space. So yeah, that's what I did. Okay, the next one is a figure drawing I did in my old sketchbook. I used a reference photo for this, and it's from one of those figure drawing websites. So they have a lot of nude pictures for artists to practice life drawing. Yeah, and overall I'm really satisfied with the face, but the body is like okay, because you can see all the sketchy lines. I wasn't so confident about my strokes. The reason I put this one in is that I know it's not perfect, it's not even rendered or anything, but just showing that I'm putting this effort of practicing, of doing art outside of a classroom, because most pieces in my portfolio are class assignments. Oh, this one is drawn from live model. I don't really like this piece, but I don't have any other figure drawings that are completed with shading at the time. It looks muddy because the darks aren't dark enough to push the form forward, and I think I just got tired of blending, so I left the cross-hatching lines on the leg as what it is. Yeah, let's move on. I don't like this one. I don't want to see this ever again. The next one, it's a master copy. Let's just skip it because I don't have much to say about this one. Okay, design piece again. It's just paper cutouts glued on the black or white cardboards. It's a study of positive and negative space. So the 3 panels here are showing the transition of the white shapes become the background and the negative shapes become the objects in the foreground. And maybe you wonder where the dragon is coming from. My answer is I don't know either. Alright, here is another master copy painted with acrylic. The original painting is called Girl Knitting by Zhuan. I'm really satisfied with the result because the color, the value, the contrast, I think everything's looking good. Ooh, it's a really interesting piece here. I made with my fingerprints. So here you can see at the bottom is the original scan of my fingerprint, and I just made a bunch of copies of enlarged image of that, and we cut off the shapes we wanted and pasted on another whiteboard. So it's kind of like a black and white collage, and the goal here is to create depth and flow. So in order to let the lines flow more naturally, I used black ink and white paint to connect the lines better and to create a more dynamic image here. Yeah. Alright, this one, it's my very first personal work that I was proud of it. I mean, I am proud of it now too, but I'm seeing a lot of mistakes. Yeah, but you learn from it. Okay, so the original idea of this painting came to me really random. So one day I was working and I was drawing on the back of the receipt. So I drew a nose and a mouth, but when I turned it upside down, it looked like a little monster grinning. So I was like, oh, it looks kind of cute. So I did this in my mixed media sketchbook with acrylic. And I intended to use vibrant color to bring out this happy moment of this demon laughing and while sitting on the grass. But looking back to this piece now, I can tell the color combination just isn't that good. Everything is too saturated and it's losing the contrast between the color, between the saturation. It's like all over the place and it's hurting my eyes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm gonna talk about my 4 figure drawings together because they're all the same model and they're all from the same workshop session. I show them separately in my portfolio just because I don't want the admission officer to get too tired of looking at the almost exact same drawings of the same model continuously. And I'm aware of that. Her face looks different in each drawing. Yeah, so these are just practice pieces, and they're not meant to be perfect. They're not meant to be like even like finished piece. Just showing the process, because at the time I've only had one figure drawing class that's like a official figure drawing class in school, and I was trying to get better at drawing human beings because I know a lot of art school, they're looking for like you to approve that you can do bodies, you can do proportions right and stuff. So I went to a lot of outside figure drawing workshops and I try to get better. Try to get better speaking English. Okay. Okay, here is my second original illustration piece, and it's my first time trying to design out a new environment, like fully imaginative stuff. But I found extremely hard, especially to get the perspective right. The whole concept was based on one of my horrific dreams. However, it turned out not what I planned. So when my sketch started to look really dreamy and cute, I just went for that. Yeah. At the time, I didn't know about atmosphere perspective and all those how the physics works and stuff. So the building seems very flat and wonky, and the scale of that girl in the building on the left feels a bit small. So yeah, there are countless flaws in this piece, but I was still proud of it because the effort I put in doing it and the really dreadful process of painting it. Okay, the second last piece here, it's a mixture of my sketchbook pages, and I know how I arrange them, it's not aesthetic at all. So here I'm trying to show that I can use various mediums, and these are just my daily sketches. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, the last one, it's my doggy. It's by far my best watercolor painting, and I don't even remember how I achieved that softness of the fur. Like, how did I paint that? I don't remember. And that really super cute expression. So it was all based on a photo of my dog, and she's in China now, and she's the cutest. So yeah, all I remember was I painted with, like, I started out with really light wash, and I started like laying things up, and I used more opaque watercolor. It's just like more paint and less water. Yeah. And yeah, isn't she the cutest baby ever? Alright, that's all for today's video. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. I will try to answer it. But if there are more questions than I expected, maybe I'll do a Q&A video later on. Yeah? So enjoy your day and enjoy your life. Bye bye.